Choujin X Chapter 50 Part 4 is here, but before we even touch on that, the cover art for Volume 9 has been released, and yes, it is a Momoma cover. And sometimes Ishida does like to place these little Easter eggs within the cover, so I am asking y'all to let me know if you think this is a reach. Because to me, you can see that Momoma is clearly covered in blood, but in the background behind her, it looks to be little drawings of tomatoes and black feathers, which would symbolize both Ellie and Tokyo. Now, as for this week's chapter, this is exactly what I wanted, which is the continuation of the storyline outside of Yamato Mori, picking up right where we left off last week with Yubiko and Chandra. Now, as we all read, Chandra used Yubiko's condition as his opportunity to free himself from his leash and then takes the elegant route of nursing Yubiko's battle wounds. Now, one thing that has been continuously pointed out is that Yubiko's fight with this mysterious Choujin has disabled her ability to regenerate, which stems from one of the powers held by that mysterious Choujin, right? Now, in order to solve this issue, Chandra decides to use the same mystery drug in which Yubiko used to help him, which was also one of the main factors that influenced Chandra. On top of that, his curiosity of her. Now, one thing that happened this chapter which makes me wonder about future factions is the moment Chandra realized his current place within society. Now, at this point, he believes that he is powerless and that he has been abandoned by Zora. Now, although we know that Chandra was willing to test the new Zember for the sake of the tower, I believe that there is a possibility that a bond between Yubiko and Chandra could be strengthened, which would allow Chandra to mentally separate himself from Zora. And by the time Chandra realizes that he actually does have a power, he could be at the point where he stands as his own and no longer accepts the role of one of Zora's children. Now, as for Yubiko's fight, we did get a flashback of the tail end before she managed to escape, and what this did was build the mystique of this mysterious bucket Choujin, right? And I have to say, when it comes to dropping hints and clues within this series, Ishida has been a master of allowing conclusions to be suggested while maintaining enough questions to prevent a full-blown discovery, because right now there are a handful of possibilities surrounding the identity of the bucket Choujin. Now, in my chapter 50 part 1 video, I went over the signs that showed he was a member of the Kagomura clan, as there was even a point where he used the lone sword hand signal. And as Yubiko detailed in this chapter, he seemed to have a number of abilities which would then raise a suspicion. Now, the amount of his abilities could simply mean that each sword he possesses contains a separate power, but Yubiko's reaction leads me to believe that there is more to the mystery here, and multiple things could be true at once. For one, we understand that the Kagomura clan was a crucial part of the war and were a loyal part of Zora's force, so it makes sense that this man would maintain his loyalty to Zora as well as address Yubiko as guilt to scum. He also has a similar statue to the man in this image. However, with the amount of abilities he possesses, we can't rule out the possibility of him being another Nui Chimera, or specifically one of the hero hunters who aided in the raid against the Kagomura clan, as he also shares the similar statue to this man. All three may be the same exact person, as they all are brolic with black hair and have access to the blades, and his role in the attack against the clan could have been his own personal revenge for the betrayal against Zora. However, there is another possibility which stems from prophecies as well as a deleted panel from Soi Ishida himself. Now, in collaboration between Mato's painting as well as Chandra's dream, we see some signs that can be connected to this bucket Choujin. For one, this image painted within the eye has a similar shape to the blades held by this bucket man in the deleted page. And we learned from Chandra's dream that the eye from Mato's painting is in fact Zora's. A bonus thing to point out from Ishida's deleted page is that Nude was also attacked by the same pet used against Yubiko, as we see the swirls contain a similar consistency. But the final thing is that in Chandra's dream, you see a silhouette of what looks like the bucket Choujin right before Zora's head is sliced. And the words being spoken to Chandra are, "Please, Hume, that is not," as if it were a warning about the guard being an imposter, which would also add more context to this statement made to Yubiko, as it shows that rather than protecting Zora, the bucket Choujin appears to be protecting the beast mark. This would also explain the pairing of Yubiko and Chandra from a narrative perspective, as Chandra is the one who had the vision as well as is the one healing Yubiko. But once again, all in all, man, this guy is dropping bangers. He's keeping us curious, and he's keeping us from really knowing the truth, while at the same time giving us a bunch of clues to at least guess and make an argument for what we think to be true, right? But, hey, man, once again, thank y'all. Peace. And I'll see you again next week.